at the Gathering 10, Las Vegas, with Anthony. How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Anthony, we do left hand because it's like we're Boy Scouts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, Anthony, and it's Anthony
Griego.
Griego.
Yeah.
Italian or?
The name is actually Greek.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that I'm Greek.
You'd be surprised, brother. You'd be really surprised.
You never know.
Yeah. No. Kudos. I got a thing for names sometimes. So interesting. Okay, so very good. So listen, you've got some very beautiful looking knives here. I'm a curious guy about background and what have you. What do you normally do professionally?
Professionally, I work for BNSF. I'm a locomotive engineer. I've worked for them for almost 24 years.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
And then when did you get into knife making?
I've been making knives for about 6 years. Bored on a train, checking out YouTube videos. I've always liked fabricating things. I've built trailers, I've built all kinds of different things. Seen some people making knives, I thought, I'm gonna try it. So I go home, I cut up some leaf springs and made 4 knives. Gave them away. We still have 2 of them. My son and I still have 1.
Keeping in the lineage.
Yeah. My son started making knives too shortly after I did. And it just kind of evolved from that. Get different ideas, find new ways of doing it. I started out with an angle grinder and some cutoff wheels, real basic.
Yeah.
And then I was real excited when I got the 1x30 from Harbor Freight. Man, this is going to change everything. Used that for a while and just kept selling knives, saving up money, buying different machinery, just everything, all the machinery that I have, all the equipment that I have, I've bought from my knife making, and I've been able to acquire some really nice machinery.
Basically, you're reinvesting some of the profits from knife sales back into your knife business.
Yes.
Kudos. So what was one of the first designs that you came up with?
One of the first knives I made was this cleaver.
Nice fixed blade cleaver, working tool. I like the scales on that. Very nice. So that was your first design.
This was my first design. I started making this knife and actually had an injury. A friend of mine, we were moving a bandsaw from my garage to my shop. There was an incident, the bandsaw came down, hit the back of my leg, severed my Achilles tendon. So I didn't work for 5 months. So while I was healing from that injury, I finished this off. Sold it, and it took off. So, it gained momentum and it got real popular.
Now, were you originally selling knives to coworkers and friends?
I was carrying them at work, showing them off, trying to sell them to coworkers. I've never done a show, never gone to any type of show to try to sell anything. This is actually our first show. We've come in years past as guests.
Attendees?
Yeah. And this is our first
so this is your first knife show? Outstanding.
First knife show.
And of course, looking around, we've already panned around a little bit, but it's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, very good. So now this was your first design, and what is your, I'm sure that price point varies depending on materials and what have you, but it's just a ballpark figure that someone would pay.
Ballpark, about $300.
Okay.
These are AEBL steel, the ones I have here. I have one D2. AEBL steel. They're cryo, they're heat treat, professional heat treat, heater's heat treat.
It's a tool they made a couple years back.
They come with a Kydex sheath, cross carry.
Right.
We just made that little insert to go in it.
This one got real popular for a long time.
People don't carry keys anymore, so.
And a real good friend of mine suggested, seeing the cleaver, he suggested, well, why don't you make an insert for the key bar?
Okay, and the key bar, a lot of us are familiar with, but it's basically a folding device to store your keys, and some folks have come up with tools.
Yes, quite a few tools. That's a little tool from Third Eye Tactical.
Not your manufacturer, correct?
Not me.
Okay. Yeah.
I make the cleaver that resembles my original cleaver. It folds up and goes inside the key bar.
Okay. Now, what's the price point on these? And it looks like you've got several different designs over here.
Yeah.
Any questions at all?
These are $100 a piece. They're all D2 steel. Again, professionally heat treated by Peter's Heat Treat.
And the light is playing havoc, but
Yeah.
we're getting an idea of some of the different style that you have on those grinds. Okay, very good.
So while I was injured, I started working on my frame locks and designing them, figuring everything out. Once I got them done, the same friend that
Is there anything you want to see? I'll hand it to you.
that was with me when I was injured, I was talking to Colt, and I told him I need to come up with a name for this knife.
Is there anything you want to see?
And Colt says, well, that's easy. I said Achilles, because I severed my Achilles
Exactly.
tendon. So I named it Achilles, and then from there, the clip came about, the Spartan helmet.
Right. And we've got that definite stylized Spartan Greco style helmet.
Yes.
Very good. Now it looks like you've got some other more, not necessarily toolish knives, but
Yeah.
more fancier knives.
Yeah, I like making good working knives too. I've started, it's been about 6 or 8 months.
Okay. Beautiful.
Started
I like
forging.
the woodwork. I like the handles on that.
Yeah, this one's real nice.
That's stunning. Very well.
That one got me this morning. I'm
It
afraid
did?
it's gonna, yeah, it got me right there.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Well, you know what? Keep it away from the wrist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The brachial, or the brachial part. Okay. Well, Anthony, it was a pleasure.
Nice
Good
meeting
luck to you.
Thank you.
Hopefully see you in the future, and good luck to you both.
Thank
okay?
you.
Okay.
To now.
Bye-bye.